Kamusta there, guys. What is up? It is the Draxix dude here, and today we are going to be talking about YouTube monetization. Just YouTube and being broken for the last 4 years is just mesmerizing to me. Like I remember YouTube being a very great platform to make content on, and although it's not as bad as it could be, you don't want to be that company that couldn't, it could be worse. You know what? You want to be the best, not not bad. But another issue has sprung up, and honestly, I think this is just something just going around because it's a slow news day, honestly. But to be honest, I think we need to look out for YouTube in general, because it's just shady stuff like this that I could see them doing, and I don't see it happening at all, mainly because, the backlash, considering how toxic a lot of the YouTube comment sections really are. Unless they do a full-scale monetization, or not, just moderate that thing in more of a global setting. At some point, I think that would be very, very, very useful for the YouTube community, especially considering how toxic it really is outside of, just the moderation of some YouTubers. I know some of them moderate their comments, some of them just delete negative ones, and I don't think you should do that. Don't go as far as to do that, because negative comments can be, critical comments can be seen as negative. I don't know how I didn't get, I don't know how I got those kills there. I really don't. I was just playing against a bunch of idiots. But basically, before I go further with this video, I want to say a big shout out to a guy named G Bowen Deman, or not J. I don't know where I was getting G from. J.B. Doan, because he's the one who brought it up in the, brought it to my attention. I was watching one of his videos. I've been a sub for a little while. I like watching other people's content, so if you guys do make content, please message me on Discord. Let me check out you, because I really do want to check out my community's YouTube content, as well as, if you guys are coming out and checking out mine, I want to do my best to repay the favor, especially if your content is good. Now, moving on, I don't see this happening, since YouTube is not really not really this type of brand to do this, so I don't expect it happening. So maybe in the future this will happen with the moderation of the comments, but it's not going to demonetize people, because like I said, multiple communities are outspoken, especially considering if the PewDiePie community starts complaining about it. Everybody kisses up the PewDiePie, wants to kiss his ass and shit. So people are going to do that, and then it's not going to happen, because the community that PewDiePie adores, to the 13-year-olds who think saying fuck is cool, they're gonna have issues with that, especially if a decent majority of those people are not posting the right comments. Moderation as a YouTube as a whole, I think it should be a good thing, but then again, free speech, and I just don't feel as if YouTube should be telling us what we can and cannot put on their platform, because it's not what they want, and that's really what it boils down to, where you get people who post on YouTube and stuff that, the whole idea here is to give people freedom of speech, the ability to speak what they want. This is kind of like going off the one video I had before about the woman saying there's there's only two genders. It's freedom of speech, whether you agree with it or not, unless it's hurting if it's not ethically correct, which in my opinion, you can't really make anything like that ethically correct. So going as far as to say that we cannot say certain things in the comments goes like saying you can't say that there's only two genders. Like, YouTube can tell you what you can and cannot post, or what you can and cannot comment. And honestly, when you put that into consideration, there really isn't. I mean, the idea of demonetizing somebody because of some other person's actions, what it boils down to, is just not ethically correct. And YouTube doesn't, like, you can't punish somebody for somebody else's actions unless you are the direct result of that. If you're, obviously the idea here is if you are promoting hate and violence and all this, of course, go ahead, demonetize them, block them, take down their YouTube channel. Honestly, if there's somebody who's doing that, demonetization should not be an option. It should just be full take down, because it's just not. You can't promote a hateful YouTube channel whether you agree with me or not. You just can't, because it's disrespectful to the people who play or who make videos, watch videos, do anything when it comes to the internet on YouTube, because it really kills our involvement, especially with the creators. And that's what it boils down to. We need to enhance our creations, and we need to enhance our creative bubble. You know, when you're talking to people on YouTube and stuff, it really gives you a sense of purpose. You know, you're talking to somebody who may or may not agree with you, and that's fine. All right, people need to understand that there's other opinions other than their own, and they just need to understand that that is just not right to silence somebody's opinion because it's not yours. And that's what it, like, just as a community, as a people, we should be striving to give people that voice. And now I sound like a full-blown liberal, and the funny part is I'm not even close. But the idea here is to give everybody a chance to speak their mind, whether they are right or wrong. Especially, and this is what it boils down to, because when it says demonetized for trolls cursing, it's not because they're cursing, it's what they're saying and what they're meaning. And this is why I'm going more of a political spectrum, because this is what it will hit. YouTube is obviously liberal, alright? But you can't force your political agenda on somebody else. It's just not ethically correct, it's not politically correct, and from a group that's supposed to be politically correct, it doesn't seem to fit with their own agendas and their own. It just doesn't make sense to me, because there's a lot of people who I hate that are conservatives. There's a lot of people I hate that are liberals, that they are just far left, far right. They are both idiots. I think we need to create a party that is more of in the middle. And why am I bringing up politics when it comes to YouTube? Because YouTube, if they implement this, they can just say, oh, well, I don't like no bullshit because he's a fucking conservative. It's like saying you can't watch, I don't know. I don't watch any liberal YouTube channels, but I'm sure they're there. But you can't watch, you can't monetize your content because I don't like what you're saying and what your and especially the people in the comments are saying about your stuff. Like I said, unless you're spewing hate and you're trying to do that, it makes sense that you don't want to see that in a YouTube video as a whole. And honestly, I think we need to go for a more of a societal approach to this, where people can say what they want within reason. Obviously, you can't threaten anybody. Obviously, you cannot bully anybody. You know, just harass them. I wouldn't even say bully. Just harass people. Just be respectful on the internet. And if you disagree, whatever. All right. You don't need to drive your point into the ground where you're repeating it multiple times, because whether you like it or not, the other person ain't reading it. All right. Whether you agree with him or not, it's not like it'll be resolved anyway. You guys, half of you guys don't understand that. But leave your interesting comments in the comment section down below. This has been the Draxix Dude, DRAXIXDUDE, signing off.